What's going on YouTube? This is Tyler back with another video, and guys, I went and did it. I went back and decided that I would grade with Sgc. So guys, if you all have not seen this channel, or if you are a follower of this channel, you will know that recently I did a video where I submitted my last two orders to Sgc in around May, right whenever the prices dropped from $70 down, $75 down to $30 per card. Bought a bunch of items. Some of those items were supposed to go to PSA, but then a lot of them weren't. And the market was going down, and that was my worst decision ever in terms of, at the time, getting cards graded and selling. Lots of reasons why. You can see the comments vilified by the Sgc fanboys, but I don't know if this is going to make them happy or not, but I decided to go back and went back to the beating pole to get whipped again. So let's see if we did a little bit better this time. Now, the last two orders that I did, a couple of those were PSA reject cards, cards that I had either were going to go to PSA, but either the prices changed, and because the prices changed, I wasn't going to spend that money to get them graded because they were actually not that, they weren't cards that I wanted to get graded by PSA. Let's put it that way, because they just weren't good enough. So a lot of them were rejects, things I would expect to get 9s and 10s on. This is an order I'm expecting to get higher grades on. I'm not sending a bunch of junk to Sgc, especially at $30 a card. So hopefully we'll get better results, and I think that we did get better results. So let's go through each card. Let's get these guys out of the way here. All right, so first up, Vladimir Guerrero Jr., 9.5. Cases have a little bit of gunk on them. This is just my luck, man. I am getting a lot of gunky cases lately, whether it be through anybody I submit them with, you know, especially CSG. Next up, Bowman Prospects, Jacob deGrom. Thought this had a really good chance at getting a 10, comes back a 9.5. And the 9.5s, those are the cards. So those are a refractor. Yep, 2 refractors. Next refractor for Vlad Guerrero Jr. Came back a 9.5. These are cards that honestly I really want to 10. 9.5s to me, not that great for Sgc. I don't think those are break-even cards. I think those are cards that you need to have. These are cards you need to have 10, especially modern. It's 10 or bust with Sgc. And SGC is picking up traction, obviously. Their sale values are picking up. A lot of people are submitting to them. A lot of the sales, again, the volatility of the sales, you could have the exact same card sell one day for a certain price, and then the next day it could be 50% of that price. Or it could be 60% of that price. So the volatility within looking at a specific card is very, very high. And that's something that SGC, you know, as people buy SGC slabs, it's not just SGC, it's basically anything outside of PSA at this point. PSA is probably the most stable, the most liquid. You know, every other slab is not as stable or liquid. It just, you know, it is what it is. It's the market. But we as collectors, investors, flippers, whatever, dictate, we get to decide what that market is. So really nice having a 10 on this one. Now we go to some LaMelo balls. Get to flip all these balls. 9.5 orange laser. Then we got one come back at 10. And I have graded with SGC previously. If you look at my first video, the very first video that I've ever did with SGC, love the cases, love the slabs. So a lot of people in my last video think that I'm hating on SGC. That's absolutely not the case. Having said that, it seems like criticism of SGC is not taken lightly. People do not like it whenever people criticize SGC. There's been plenty of criticism to go around to PSA, to Beckett, especially CSG now that I actually have them in hand. But seems like people are very protective of SGC for some reason. They have plenty of flaws, lots of flaws. But overall, they're making progress. This is a really nice LaMelo ball. Comes back at 10. Really good thing with what they're doing right now is, you know, turnaround times are great, but the fanboys really need to put a pause on, is that turnaround time due to SGC cranking slabs out, or is it because, hey, there's nobody submitting to SGC at $30 a card? Turnaround times, whenever they decrease the prices from $75 down to $30 per card, you know, they had to do that because they had no volume. Turnaround time at that time in May and June was around 4 business days. Now it's gone up to 15 or 16 and a half business days, according to the CEO. This is the card I was really looking to get. So I had, you know, 2 9.5s, and then this one comes back at 10. It's really, really nice. So yeah, the turnaround times are increasing, and guess what? PSA is going through that backlog. So it's going to be interesting to see in the next couple of months what happens, you know, depending on how quickly PSA gets through their backlog. So next up, got LaMelo ball, Chinese New Year. This is a perfect example of a card. If you look at how much this card has sold for, one day it'll sell for a specific price, and then the next day the base card will sell for the exact same price or something, you know, similar. Just doesn't make sense. In PSA terms, you know, there's a lot better price predictability in terms of what these cards go for. Man, that card really, really, really pops. Love the cases. Absolutely love these SGC cases. I wish that they were a tad smaller so that they could fit in some of the things that I am storing PSA cases in. These don't fit in some of the boxes that I store PSA cases in because they're a little bit wider. They got that girth, them girthy SGC cases. All right, here's a Groove Revolution. Man, those things look so good. Very clean. Here's one that I really, really, really like. This is the Tmall Asia Red exclusive. And man, wow. Really, really cool card. So not Chinese New Year. So there's a lot of Revolution play with China going on. I think there's just a conspiracy that Revolution is being made by China. They have the Chinese New Year. They got Asia Red Tmall. I mean, so many parallels. This is probably a China product, not made in USA. So here's another one, Rookie Revolution. This is the Asia parallel. Again, really, really, really cool. All right, so now we're going on to some Shohei Ohtanis. Shohei Ohtani Refractor. I went through several of these trying to find copies that would be gem mint quality, and I believe that I got one. So the other one came back a 9.5. And what's next? All right, so we got a couple more finest here. This one's 9.5. and the base card. I went through a ton of these, and trying to find gem mint copies of this card is very, very, very challenging. I don't know if people just didn't store them that well or what, but you know, trying to find cards that are absolutely gem mint quality, very, 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 very difficult. Luckily, I found a couple. This case has a little bit of streaking on it. Looks like almost roller marks or printer marks. You can see that a little bit. Still not too bad. Not as bad as a CSG case. Those cases are absolutely terrible. And sorry, CSG fans. I know there are a couple of you out there. A couple, not a lot. But man, their cases absolutely suck. If you get a clear case, consider yourself lucky. It's like a true 1 of 1. All right. Ooh, just got a email notification. PSA received my order. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. I love turning through these things so that, you know, I can keep these graded orders coming. So hopefully we have some PSA cards coming your all's way for future breaks here soon. All right, so Luka Doncic, PSA 10 gem mint. Really, really, really nice. And next up, let's actually get these a little bit closer here. This one I was really, really hoping would at least be a 9.5. I don't know what got it down to a 9 necessarily. Corners on it look good, edges look good, unless they're just judging centering a specific way that I'm not seeing. You know, the surface I thought looked pretty solid, so not sure what's going on with this one. And really, really, really wanted one of these Justin Herberts to gem. I know this was off center top to bottom. It's one thing, SGC for sure is very, very critical of centering. Like 60-40 tolerance to them isn't a thing. I'm gonna have to actually go and see what their guidelines are and what their standards are. But yeah, you've got to have a card that is pretty much right on 50-50 in order for this thing to be a 10. So their 10s are tough. I will say that 10s through SGC are very, very, very tough. Next up, Giannis Antetokounmpo. You all can see my next big card. This is the big one that's probably going to pay for the order. And this card's going to have its own separate video because this is a crack and resub. So yeah, yeah, we're gonna do a video on this one. All right, so this one came back at SGC 10. Won't talk too much about that. This is probably around a $1,500 card. So actually glad that I cracked it and resubmitted that. Keep an eye out on the channel for a future video because this was a PSA 6 and now it's an SGC 10. So we'll do a full breakdown in a separate video. Very happy about that. Next, Shohei Ohtani, batting, SGC 10. Beautiful, beautiful card. These cards look really good in SGC holders. They really do. Now, the price difference, there clearly is a price difference between SGC 10s and PSA 10s. You know, I've graded some PSA 10s, but, you know, just wanted to pay $30 a card, ended up getting the grade that I needed. Hear this? That's pretty unacceptable, to be honest. I like SGC cases. This is one of the big criticisms. For the most part, their cards, their holder does not do the job of other holders, especially big cards like this. I mean, that's pretty unacceptable, to be honest. I like that they have these little inserts where, I mean, this is basically like a one-touch, a magnet one-touch, like for a thick card. That's basically the protection that it offers. I mean, there's no real security. They really need an inner sleeve on this because that's pretty unacceptable, honestly. Ja Morant looks beautiful. I don't think that it's going to be protected long term, though. I think that they really need to improve that. All right, got some more Shohei Ohtani's rookie debut 9.5. Got another rookie debut 9.5. Let's actually move these over here. Rookie debut 10. So these I mean, if there's no surface issues, I'm sending every single one of these in. There's, you know, how they discern between a 9.5 and a 10, kind of not really sure. Centering, maybe. I know some people talk about centering with like left to right, but honestly, the grader isn't going to really pay that much attention, at least from some of the other companies I've gone through. Now, has SGC figured it out? Who knows? But for the most part, it's going to be highly dependent on what grader you get. So, you know, it is what it is. Wander Franco, Bowman Sterling, autograph came back 9.5. This one's a little off left to right. And maybe a little off top to bottom. So I would say it's probably a generous 9.5 based on the standards for the rest of the order. And then last, but certainly not least, one of my favorite prospects this year, Bobby Witt Jr., autograph, Bowman's Best, came back a 9.5 10 auto. So beautiful, beautiful, beautiful card. I knew this one was going to have a little bit of difficulty, as I think that it had a roller mark. Yep, it's got a roller mark going right through it. So that's the big flaw there. All right, guys, that is quick and dirty. So this is a 39 card order. I will say SGC did grade another one of my cards, but they damaged it. So I didn't talk about that. I submitted a 2020-2021 Panini Crown Royal LaMelo ball, and they actually graded it an SGC 10. However, they damaged it during the slabbing process. The representative called, apologized, and offered compensation. So he said that comps for that card in SGC 10 were around $100 to $110. SGC was willing to offer me a $200 credit on the order for the cost of the grading and bought the card back. So I actually haven't checked my credit card statement to see if I've gotten a refund for that, but they deleted the card from the invoice as if it never was submitted. And they said that I would be seeing that credit come back on my credit card statement. So honestly, kudos to them. I do need to check to make sure it's gone through, but that's really good customer service. PSA did basically the exact same thing, and also expedited one of my other orders. So both companies, if they make errors, they do seem to make it right. So yep, overall, this is a good order. This is a smaller order. This is nothing, you know, really big. I'm anticipating about a 20 to 25% ROI. That's based on today's sale values. Now, that could change by the time whenever I sell this. You know, I'll do a full breakdown of the financials once all the cards are sold. That way you can show you exactly what I paid for the cards, because that was a highly debated and commented on feature of my last video. So I can't believe you paid this for this card. Well, if you really want to get a gem mint LaMelo ball, good luck going out here and trying to buy this card and with this centering raw at the go-on rate prices. I'm sorry, cards that have good eye appeal, that are good grading candidates, they are going to sell more raw. And that's probably why you're not good at grading. It's because you think that you're going to get these cards at very cheap prices and you can never buy them. So all the people who are commenting on those types of on that video previously, making that comment, you probably have no idea what you're doing anyway. But that's my rant. I won't do another rant for the video. You guys make comments down below. Let me know what you think. All these cards are going to get sold probably within the next month or so, more than likely through consignment. So we will see you next time.